All right, so it is officially October, so I decided I would just recap the whole Halloween movie franchise for you. So, starting in 1978, we have the first one, Halloween, directed by John Carpenter. Very straightforward slasher flick. You have Michael Myers is this psycho kid that murders his sister, and then he goes into a psychiatric facility, and 15 years later, he breaks out of that psychiatric facility to go back to his hometown to terrorize teenagers and things like that. And his doctor, Dr. Loomis, is positive that Michael Myers is pure evil. There is nothing more to him. He is not able to be rehabilitated or anything. He is just a bad person. And he is targeting these teens, and one of them is Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode is played by Jamie Lee Curtis. That movie ends, and it's kind of like an open-ended thing where you don't really know what would have happened next. And they had originally envisioned this series as being like an anthology series where each movie would stand alone basically, but it was an issue because Michael Myers was such a popular character and it was such a popular story that they refused to make a sequel that wasn't a sequel directly to the first movie. So they have Halloween 2 from 81 be the events immediately following the events of the first movie, and they're in this hospital where Laurie gets taken. And basically, this movie, I used to like it a lot more than I do now. It's very uneventful and pretty slow, honestly. One thing they do in this movie is they establish before the end of it that they're retconning the first movie. Like, they don't really undo anything from the first movie, but they decide that Laurie Strode is actually the biological sister of Michael Myers, and that's why he targets her so specifically. Anywho, they kind of end Halloween 2 like it's done, it's finished, but you know how that goes. So, Halloween 3 is coming out, and it's called Halloween 3 The Season of the Witch, and they decide they're going to try this anthology thing and do a different story completely. And it's about like they're making masks for kids to wear, and they're going to be used to control their minds and make them like kill people or something. I can't really remember that well. You get to listen to this fucking commercial song the entire fucking movie, and it is so obnoxiously annoying. Anyway, this movie flopped when it came out. Nobody liked it. It has since become a bit of a cult classic. Like, a lot of people claim it's like an underrated gem. To be clear, I think it's a dog shit movie and is not good, but if you like it, you like it. I can't really help that. So, after that movie does poorly, they make Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, and so this movie establishes that Laurie Strode had a daughter, and she's like under 10 probably. Her name is Jamie Lloyd, and she's played by Danielle Harris, and they established that Laurie Strode and Jamie's father died in a car accident, and Michael is targeting her because he knows that she's Laurie's daughter. And Dr. Loomis returns, and this one is decent in that it's exciting because Michael Myers is back. After this movie, they make Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and they start to like lay groundwork that there's like more to Michael Myers than meets the eye. Like, there's something that makes him evil, but they don't really get too far into it. Jamie Lloyd returns in this movie. For some reason, they make it that she can't talk for this entire movie, or almost the whole thing, and it's just not good. The worst part about this movie, it might be the worst of the whole series. It is borderline unwatchable for me. It is so slow and feels so pointless. And so it's also like very low budget. This movie doesn't do super well at the box office, and it's not until like the mid 90s that they decide they're going to make a sixth movie called Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. And they like go all in on this fucking story that Michael Myers has this curse that was laid upon him by a secret society or a cult or something. And they're making him evil so that he will kill people that they want or something. It's very stupid. And Dr. Loomis comes back again in this one, and he was in 4, 5, and 6 as well. But Donald Pleasance actually died in real life, and so they killed off his character with the sixth movie. And that one was very poorly received. It had Paul Rudd in it, and that was exciting because he was very young. It was one of his first movies. And they make Halloween H2O in 1998, which is Halloween 20 years after the events of the first movie. And they basically just ignore everything that was established by the fourth, fifth, and sixth movies. And they have it be that Laurie Strode doesn't have a daughter, she has a son, played by Josh Hartnett. And they've moved to like California because Laurie wants to get away from Michael because she knows that he's after her. I mean, it's a much higher budget movie than the movies before it had been. And so it's got a lot better production quality and stuff, but it's okay. And I mean, LL Cool J's in it. He doesn't make a fucking song like he did for Deep Blue Sea, but it is what it is. Sorry for the spoilers. At the end of H2O, they make it seem like Laurie killed Michael Myers at the end of that movie. So basically, you knew when you watched H2O that it was like, well, if they want to say that that wasn't what happened, then they can. And so sure enough, early 2000s come around, they make Halloween Resurrection. Jamie Lee Curtis returns for that movie, but she's only in like the first 10 minutes. Laurie Strode is in a psychiatric facility and she's been obsessing about Michael Myers, and she just intends to kill him because she knows that he'll come for her. And he does, and she has this big plan, and she doesn't kill him when she has the chance, and spoilers, he fucking kills her. And so she's gone, and the rest of the movie is this really stupid story about a reality show being based in Michael Myers' childhood home, and they're supposed to be playing up the scariness of all that. And of course, Michael comes and kills a bunch of people there, and Busta Rhymes is in it, and Tyra Banks too, I believe. Really terrible. Not as bad as the fifth one, probably. Not as unwatchable as the fifth one. It's just a really bad movie. So after that one did poorly, in 2007, they decided they would have Rob Zombie do a reboot, basically remaking the first movie. It was fairly well made, but the writing, it was like that aspect I was talking about where it was like he was just purely evil in the first movie. They decided to change that and have it be that Michael Myers was bullied as a child, and like the first half of this movie is establishing that like he was bullied and this is why he's evil. It's not good. And so that one was not very good, and it was all way too long and drawn out. And then the sequel to that movie came out 2 years later, and I've never actually seen it, but by most accounts that I've heard, it's pretty terrible. And so after that, it was almost 10 years, and then they came out with a movie in 2018 called Halloween, which is annoying. And it was a soft reboot of the series, and it was a direct sequel to the first Halloween movie and ignored all of the other Halloween movies after the first movie. And so it was like Laurie had gone into hiding and she has all the security and stuff, and it ends like she's taking care of Michael Myers again. And of course, like, you knew when that movie came out, they were making 3 movies in this soft reboot. And so you knew he was coming back. And so Halloween Kills came out after that. And I actually saw that in theaters. I think it's the only one I've ever seen in theaters. It was a little over the top, and like the storylines they went with were kind of stupid. And I just really didn't care for it very much. And then, of course, we have Halloween Ends, which I haven't actually watched yet, but I intend to watch it this month. And I kind of wanted to do like a little recap just to go through all of that fun stuff, because there's been a lot of trials and tribulations here. So, all right, everyone, have a good rest of your day. Bye now.